So, so Elon Musk just announced that he wants a compensation of $1 trillion. Now, first of all, it's very impressive that he wants that. I want a much more modest raise, by the way, but nobody listens to me. But the question about Musk wanting this amazing pay raise is not the only question what he wants. The question should be what is good for shareholders. And in social science, when we think about this, we ask the question about theory of change. Imagine version 1 of Elon Musk is not getting the $1 trillion. What does he do? What does his day look like? How much does he focus? How much energy does he put toward Tesla? How much innovation, how creative he is. Versus, there's a second version of Elon Musk with the $1 trillion. And the question is, what is the theory of change? How is this Elon Musk plus the $1 trillion, what does he do differently? Does he drink more coffee? Does he stay awake more hours of the day? Does he think more creatively? Is he better at motivating his staff? These are the questions that the shareholder need to ask themselves. It's not just what he wants. It's about how is giving him this tremendous amount of money going to make him different and more productive for the company. And for example, what if it wasn't $1 trillion? What if it was only $1 billion? A tiny, tiny fraction of that. What will that do? And my suspicion is that the moment we start thinking about this in those terms, in terms of theory of change, we have to say that most likely giving Elon Musk more money, let's say $1 trillion, would move money away from shareholders and maybe employees to his bank account, but it will very unlikely create any change in his activity and therefore very little impact on the productivity of Tesla as a company. And by the way, this question about theory of change is something that we need to ask every time. Every time somebody asks us a question of, I want to implement X, we need to say, what is life without X? How does it work in details? And what is life with X? How does it work in details? For example, imagine that Duke University decide to double my salary. What would I do differently? Would I drink more coffee? Would I sleep less? Would that be effective? Would I talk to more students? Would I talk faster? Would I talk slower? Would I be able to find more hours in the day to write more papers? Would I do more or less of what? When you start thinking about this clearly and in details, you realize that when we pay people very little, there are challenges, but at a certain level of payment, which is way, way below $1 trillion, there's not that much more that people can do. So from that perspective, I think that the odds that giving Elon Musk this raise will yield for any benefit for Tesla is very low. There is, however, one thing that I am worried about. When we say here is Elon Musk without $1 trillion, here's Elon Musk with $1 trillion, what's the difference? But really we don't have the world of Elon Musk without $1 trillion. We have a world in which Elon Musk asked for $1 trillion and didn't get it. So now the question is, will Elon Musk get pissed off that the shareholders of Tesla did not give him the money? And will he do something like revenge or sabotage? And that I have to say that I don't know. I don't have a good prediction of that. That really depends on his psychology and sense of entitlement. And I would say that a world in which Elon Musk never thought about $1 trillion versus a world in which he thought about $1 trillion and got it, I don't think there's a lot of difference. But if Elon Musk thought that he deserves $1 trillion, he proposed it and he got rejected, I don't know enough about his psychology to kind of predict whether he would get angry, revengeful, whether he want to sabotage, whether he would want to prove something, whether he would be offended. So I don't know. So if you ask me, does Elon Musk deserve $1 trillion more from the perspective of the shareholder? Would it yield to better results? The answer is no. But if you ask me whether the psychology of Elon Musk will get bruised if he got rejected, and whether this bruising has a potential for yielding some damage to the company, I would say yes. I just don't know if it would yield $1 trillion worth of the damage. I suspect it wouldn't, but we will see. We will see what the decision will be and how this will turn out. Good luck to all of us.